Really good mechanical skill. I'm getting told that I'm not loud enough, so hopefully I'm loud enough. Anyways, we're going to be getting into Splat Zones on Black Belly.
Yep.
Can be a pretty hectic map mode, and one that, if, like you said, one of these teams can recognize a situation where they can push up and really explode, get a really aggressive push. This is also a map that kind of some teams struggle to get out of.
Lockout situations can be really brutal on this map. We'll see how it ends up going. We have two completely different comps going on right now. We see Double Slosher on one side. We see Junior and Luna on the other side. Of course, this is a map where close-range weapons get picked. Let's see how they end up working. Keo with the double right off the bat. Now, he is marked by missiles. He promised me he would teabag. I just didn't know he was going to do it that early. But FTWin comes off the bat with the first, pseudo wipe. They have map control here. Let's see what quantuM can do about it. Toon right here going to be pushed back to top mid. He doesn't really have the ability to support his teammates. One of his teammates go down. We'll see if quantuM's able to take advantage of this 4v3 situation with some specials. An armor goes down for the win, and quantuM is going to be able to take the map. Yeah,
FTWin obviously being forced to back up quite a bit. There's still a great response from quantuM. They were able to separate Kyo from his teammates and not let him get that pain support, which Luna definitely needs.
Yeah.
You can get a double like that 1 second, and then the momentum is completely halted because of enemy ink. So good job for quantuM getting right back, but it looks like FTWin was able to not lose that aggression for so long. But as we say, that quantuM, just a big wipe right there, and that's going to be really huge for them because a full wipe against a team like FTWin is rare, and once you get it, that's the time to start making a huge push. Yeah,
well, quantuM is the kind of team to make a huge push, and again, like you were talking about, Black Belly can be a difficult map to actually take back map control with. So we'll see what quantuM's able to do. But it looks like by the time it took me to finish that sentence, FTWin was able to get a few picks. They were able to fully take map control, and they're able to put a stop to that clock. So there's been a lot of trading back and forth of the zone so far between these two teams, and neither has really been able to get that big of a amount of points on the clock. Yeah. Right now we see FTWin pushed up probably more than we've seen any push so far in this set. We'll see if it's able to persist. I mean, we're already down to the 60-second mark. You're 1/3 of the way there. Can FTWin continue the pressure? Right now they're trading back and forth, but they're still in quantuM's base. quantuM needs to be able to at least stall the zone, do something to stop these points from ticking down.
You see, this is exactly what FTWin wanted. Like you said, this is the first time that either team really could get into the enemy team's base, and that being the first time, that might be one of the only times this entire game that
it actually happens,
just based on how good these teams are at responding to aggression. So with that huge push all the way down to 26, that is a long push in the grand scheme of things. So quantuM now has their back against the wall coming into the second half of this game. They're going to need to find that similar aggression, be able to take advantage of
how is it going to compare?
Yeah, they really need to. I mean, they definitely have the penalty going down right there, or the score going down for them right there. But they do lose one. Kyo being very aggressive again with this Luna, being able to use the burst damage and the baller at the ready. Might be able to get a pick here with his teammates supporting him on the left side. They are able to pick him off. And yeah, really good stuff. Really good pincer attack there, and the usage of the baller to open up that push and back in FTWin's court.
Yeah, after all of that, it's just FTWin put the situation exactly where it was. They have a really good, strong lead. They're in control of the map right now. They're also working on specials. I mean, Shaq has difficulty climbing walls, but we'll forgive him.
And sliding.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that it's a little bit tricky to climb something.
Shaq, come on now.
But that all being said, it's on quantuM to take back map control right now. So they have the armor. They pop the armor. Zero right now is pushing the mid. I guess he got a missile kill right there that we kind of didn't quite get to see. And now quantuM is once again taking the map. Now, last time we saw quantuM in this position, they did not get the same caliber of spawn kill that FTWin did. Let's see how that changes now. We see Zero kind of cleaning up in mid. We see quantuM moving forward. A little bit of zone back and forth, a 3v3. So neither team really able to get full map dominance right now as people need to respond. But we'll see what FTWin's able to do. We're going to see some missiles pop right now. We're going to see, blue squids pushing into the center of the map, and that's going to be the zone once again in FTWin's favor. So quantuM's really having difficulty pushing far forward compared to how FTWin's been able to push so far in this game. And I think that if quantuM's going to be able to take this game one, in this last minute, they're going to have to make one of those super strong pushes.
I think FTWin has just been really on point with their positioning and kind of because they're kind of a step ahead of quantuM and what quantuM wants to do. FTWin seems to know exactly where they want to push to disrupt quantuM's game plan. Like they're able to go in and get a flank on the back line on tension, or get a 2-for-1 trade, which is beneficial when the other team's trying to push in. As if they have less numbers, they're not going to be able to explode.
Take those risks
with that,
and stuff.
They're not going to be able to have that aggression that quantuM excels with. So FTWin is just doing a really job at halting those pushes and also doing a good job of splitting up quantuM. I feel like it can get a bit disjointed sometimes. Some players will be trying to build specials, then another player will go down before they can really get a push going. And we're going into the last few seconds of this game. quantuM
That'll be overtime.
is about to get zone control. They are able to get zone control for their last push. This is their last opportunity. They do get 2 down, 3 down on FTWin's side. So this is quantuM's chance. Anything can happen. Like you said, any of these teams can get a knockout situation going for them at any moment. It is pretty wild. So let's see. This is they need to push up here. They cannot let FTWin get that.
Yeah, right. VNS Classic. quantuM knows that right now, its last 30 seconds objective, not even last 30 seconds, it's overtime. But, I mean, I think that what you were talking about is true, that the way that FTWin is playing, it's stopping quantuM's being able to put their game plan together specifically. Right now, we see quantuM kind of struggling to keep these zones. This overtime might end if things go wrong right now. FTWin kind of pushing in the mid, taking zone after zone.
Huge. That kill was able to jump in there, help his teammate Shaq on that left side, and they were able to get couple huge picks. Came down to the wire. quantuM kind of found a bit of a rhythm at the end, but FTWin, they were able to. They're playing for that positional advantage. They're playing for map control. They are, making their way slowly, pushing quantuM back more and more until they are in a position where they can use their specials and just take zone in an instant. And that's exactly what they did. That's why overtime is so dangerous. If you give up any ground, the game
you can't make mistakes.
Can be over.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. We definitely saw that sine curve kind of returning from FTWin being the dominant team back towards quantuM, and you kind of saw in the KDs that it wasn't that big of a difference. But I think it was too much. I think that the damage that FTWin did earlier on in that game was just too much to recover in overtime, and all it took is one little mistake. We saw how back and forth that game was. I mean, we talked about the possibility of these really quick knockouts and stuff like that, but these two teams right now just seem so evenly matched, and I think it really came down to what you said. I think that the way that FTWin is playing, they're being disruptive, they're being really smart about attacking specifically the way that quantuM plays. They know that they want to be able to have those aggressive situations go well for them, so they're kind of taking one person out at a time. They're stopping this special from working.
They're picking out based on what quantuM is doing. One person is getting for special and separated from his teammates. They know how to recognize. They have such a mega brain game sense that is rare to see from any players, let alone an entire team like FTWin. They are able to, they're shot calling exactly who they want to push on and positioning on it, in an instant basically. They are a well-oiled machine right now. But quantuM definitely has that ability to explode, like you said. It looks like they're going to be taking them to Clam Blitz on Piranha Pit. So
completely different than Black Belt.
Yeah, so if you're just tuning in, we have a counter pick system for this tournament. That being that the losing team can pick the mode, the winning team can ban 2 maps from that mode in our pool, and then the losing team can then pick a map from those remaining picks. We can actually delve into the mind of quantuM here, I believe.
We can see some of the maps that they've
I don't think I have the strikes yet, but hopefully soon.
Okay.
But yeah, Clam on Piranha Pit. How do you feel about this one? I
mean, Clam's on Piranha. Well, obviously it's different than Black Rally, right? Now this it's a little bit surprising because you'd think that the way that this last game worked, where you kind of had FTWin being the more stable, the more deliberate team, and quantuM just being the team that wanted to just get in there and be aggressive, that a map like Piranha Pit wouldn't be the map to pick, because a big map like that kind of feels like a map that's kind of in a longer range, slower paced team's favor.
And you definitely have to work your way towards that. It's a lot of holding your ground and then finding opportunity to push. Maybe getting a pick here and there, not really, rushing in and making things happen right after that.
Yeah, it can mean. My bad.
Just another thing to think about. When you think about Piranha Pit clams, I'm thinking when you do get a push going, it's a really
I was gonna say the same thing.
The clam spawns on Piranha Pit can really benefit a team if they get a full wipe or close to a full wipe.
The area that you have to push onto, it's like you're leaving your base and you have this big wall where it's really hard for you to jump down, and then there's clams kind of spawning all over the place. So it's like when you have the one person who stops getting kills for a moment to go get clams and go put them in the basket and stuff, that person really doesn't need to move that far away from the spawn killing zone.
And
right?
that allows you to put so many points on the board so quickly, especially if you're a team that can take advantage of being aggressive like quantuM. And I think that's exactly
so
that might be their mindset here.
Yeah, you're basically getting at what I was going to say anyway. So.
I mean, hey, we're in each other's heads, but Let's see what it's in quantuM and FTWin said. Let's see what their game plan is going into Game 2 here in Winners Finals. They're playing for a spot in Grands, a guaranteed spot in Grands. Here we go.
All right, Clan Blitz, ladies and gentlemen, everyone's favorite mode. We have a Zap, we have an L3D, and I was gonna say another reason that maybe quantuM would want to pick this map is because Zero's been practicing a lot of foil squeezer lately, and that's exactly what he pulls out, and that does kind of give them the kind of long-range advantage, except for the fact that they're fighting double ballpoint.
That is a really interesting. I didn't even expect this from FTWin. I know it's something they've been, I know it's been something they've been throwing to their fold recently. But wow, look at that Brand feeling himself early on in this game. Quick, you know, we don't care about your ballpoints. They're eating it right into your face, and you're gonna go down. So really good start for quantuM. They're already building on those clams, which is really important. Nice. Sometimes teams, when they're going for those, you know, those aggressive picks and you know, getting so many kills, they kind of lose sight of controlling, you know, the clams and picking them up. But you see, we already have a score here, and they already have 17 more clams. Now we're down to 60 points. About to be another football made in the jump at the ready. You see. The jump into Zero there, and that's all the way down to 40. Like we said, that it could be a really big push anytime. That's exactly what quantuM is doing. Ooh. Back into the corner there. Zero's going to go down. This might be the end of the road for the push.
Yeah,
but,
I think it's a
pretty
push.
Big one right away.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you called it, right? As soon as quantuM got any kind of position to have a push right there, they pushed all the way to 40 in the first basically minute of the game. Yeah. So that's a really big indicator of why they chose this map and what to expect moving forward. Now it's up to FTWin, I'm sorry, to put something together to kind of counteract the push that just happened to him. Right now, not quite working. Shaq right now trying to use his Inkjet. His teammates get taken out. He gets taken out by Tension. Full map control for quantuM. They have 2 specials ready. Last time we saw DJ make very good use of the Burst Bomb Rush to get some kills in this exact same area. So let's see what happens this time. Yep, he pops the Burst Rush. He's just suppressing everyone on FTWin that's trying to leave their base, and it's working. He gets 1 pick. His team starts to push back, and it looks like they may be able to get some points on the board past the penalty. Probably not, but I mean, look at these pushes in comparison from one team to the other. Basically the polar opposite of what we saw last game.
Yeah, Kyo and Itachi, they're doing great work to, you know, get back in. You know, we have basically pinstering ball points, which sounds like a nightmare in my mind. But they're able to get back to the basket for their first score in the game. So that's exactly what we need. They're going to have a jump in within our power clam here, and that's going to bring them pretty close to the score that quantuM has gotten. They still have all of their team up. Another pick on Zero there. The Inkjet's at the ready. This is going to allow them to really extend this push. And like we said, those clams spawns are so close. It's going to let them be able to get so many points on the board, especially when they're executing so well, helping each other out, really, you know, suppressing quantuM's way back into the fight.
Now we've seen 2 really big pushes out of quantuM, 1 really big one out of FTWin, a 1-point differential. Now if you notice the penalty for quantuM, 1 power clam, unless my math is just horribly wrong.
No, you're right.
Yeah, like 1 power clam will immediately take the lead. So all quantuM has to do is push at all and not wipe, and they should be in really good shape. If they get more points on top of that, that's even better. Yeah. Now, we saw quantuM use 1 special. They have bubbles at the ready. This could be actually a really huge push if these bubbles get used properly right now, and they do. Tension moves up with the power clam. He throws it in. Instant lead. How many more points are going to be put in?
See, you were saying that all they have to do is play it safe, you know, control the map, try to control the flow of the game, and just get 1 more push. It could even be a cheesy push with some specials jumping in. Yeah. I know that's not what quantuM wants to do.
Yeah, getting the wipe right there, like I said, all they have to do is stay alive and not get wiped, and they'll be fine. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, Toon doesn't, I was going to say, he doesn't really get the best jump in. He is able to kind of ledge snap and throw that clam in, but after that full wipe, it's basically what quantuM almost did wrong, which is get the all-in push where they get wiped.
If you see what happened, Zero actually jumped to a beacon that was under the basket that FTWin never broke.
Oh, yeah, I saw that earlier.
They jumped to the beacon that never broke from the last push, and they were able to immediately come back. They broke the penalty once again, and they were able to build on that just a little bit. And as you see, they only need barely over 1 football to knock out. 1 football and a couple plans, and they will be able to knock it out if they have the opportunity. But right now, FTWin is really threatening here. They have a lot of map control, and you know, the rain's going to come out. They're going to keep building those specials almost to an Inkjet right now. Both the rains out. This is FTWin's opportunity. They have 30 clams at the ready. That's enough to knock it out.
Yeah,
so
it is not.
If they can get some picks here, which they are able to. The special usage is really huge for them, and they are threatening the lead. They got the lead, threatening the knockout.
Shaq's going to get this. Shaq doesn't get this. That's his last-second stop.
And that's huge because they have enough clams already to get the knockout.
So if they just put this one clam that they have made, keep the push going, and someone like respawns and jumps in, like they can knock it out right now. I mean, it's going to be overtime, but quantuM's that hasn't really had any trouble pushing forward. We see a special ready. I mean, man, once that burst rush gets
bubbles already as well.
Yep, the bubbles, the burst rush. This is going to be huge.
They got the pick on Shaq. This is exactly the bubbles coming out a bit early, I feel. But
no, he can use this. He can use this.
He's able to get in. That's a full wipe, and that's going to be the game. The squid bag coming out from tension, and that's 1-1 in winners finals. Woo! This is exactly the kind of matches we expect.
Dude, this is what we want.
This is that blood pumping, push after push, fight to the end. Again, just that explosive power coming out, I think, in bigger pushes and in more unexpected ways. I feel like FTWin was maybe playing a bit kind of more cookie cutter in a sense.
Well, they had like the double ball point and the zap, and I don't have anything against those weapons in this mode. Maybe Zap sometimes has some issues, but there was a little bit of a lack of ability to just get something done right now, which is why they had less total pushes than quantuM did. And I think one of the reasons that quantuM won was because they had more opportunities.
They had, that thing, specials like the bubbles that were able to just get them in, create opportunities, but also that that just heads up plays like jumping to that beacon to open another push up. Just so many different ways to find opportunities that FTWin didn't really match, and even though it was still a really close game, just because of each team being able to put so many points on the board as quickly as they did.
It was like FTWin being like the titan that they are. Like even though quantuM was like winning a lot of that game, there was that period of time for like maybe like a minute towards the end where like you felt like FTWin was just gonna like come back and win. Like you could feel it in the air. If you're a quantuM fan, you're like kind of starting to get a little bit nervous for a second. But no, quantuM was able to stop that push. I mean, that was down to like one more clam would have been it. They were able to stop that and then immediately.
Squid bagging the pressure. They start feeling themselves. They start getting ready to knock it out. They're not letting anything hold them back. They're not going to shy away, especially on a stage like this. Winners finals, playing for a spot in grands against a storied rivalry. These teams have so many sets for each other, and it's nice to see them keeping their confidence and really coming out with a bang. So Tower Control.
Remember, attention, squid bags under pressure. That's your new Twitter bio.
So Tower Control Sturgeon, what do you think FTWin's kind of planning here?
So I think so the way that Sturgeon tends to work out, at least in most modes, is if you take the opponent's snipe, you get into this really good situation where you have this high ground advantage that's like almost insurmountable. Having a backline like Bliss in that situation is going to be huge for FTWin. If they can get into a good position, having the slashing machine and or the ballpoint up there, they're going to just be able to run away with the game. Now the thing is, FTWin is quantuM has a similar comp. They have that soda slasher. They also have tension on the ballpoint. So it really comes down not to your comp having a matchup advantage, but to like you as players having a play style advantage.
Yeah. I think one thing, though, that came out from that last game, I feel like quantuM was playing way more fearless with their aggression. They just, that ability to have so many more pushes was really huge for them. And I think we might be seeing the start of the same thing here at the beginning of this game. Already 2 down, Brand going right for the back line. Or they already took out the back line, so Brand, they really have all the control here. I think that's kill on the machine, kind of stuck in hard space.
He tried to time it, but it didn't get timed.
That is a tough break, but it's not going to be the end of the push for quantuM at all. They have the burst bomb rush at the ready, and a good amount of map control. The missiles come out as well, so they are really working towards.
DJ might go after the ballpoint here. He does, and yet, I mean, look at the way that this is going. Oh, DJ's going to get taken out. Blissy. That wasn't Blissy fall off though. That was the missiles, but we can give Bliss credit. But
he got him stuck there.
Yeah. Well, either way, like earlier in the first game, you talked about how FTWin was kind of like constantly just like getting like really precise outplays into quantuM's game plan to stop them from doing what they wanted to do. But I mean, while FTWin is pushing now, I still feel like that finesse is almost like gone, where like quantuM doesn't seem to be having as much trouble.
Yeah, but as we say that, they're able to get it's kind of a 2v2 situation, but FTWin is backing quantuM into a corner. We see Shaq be able to push up there, Zero having to rush tower, trying to just stop the push, but not able to. 2D is going to maneuver too well on that tower, dance a little bit on that pole. We're going to keep the push going all the way to that last checkpoint. This is getting really dangerous for quantuM in another high
knockout
situation.
territory.
Yeah. A 2v2, they do get the pick on the tower, but not trying to rush it. That might just be the knockout. Maybe playing too risky around the tower. I feel like the constant rushing of it, like, yes, that's a good idea if you're confident you can get the picks, but when you make those mistakes, you know, the game can just end just like that. Yeah. Before, you know, things even really got going for quantuM.
Yeah. I mean, for that map in particular, once the tower gets to that last little home stretch, it's like almost every time we ever see the tower get past that last checkpoint, it just goes right in. Right? So there is that kind of feeling of like, you know, this is going to be a knockout. We do have to win these fights right now. We don't really have time to strategize or kind of be stable. But on the other hand, I feel like there was a lot of that happening leading up to that. Not necessarily that happening leading up to that, but the way FTWin was pushing and quantuM was just kind of like stuck behind that corner. They were kind of stuck behind that kind of like perch area where the grates were and stuff. And they weren't really able to do anything as FTWin just sort of like imposed themselves on quantuM. Yeah, I mean, that was the most convincing push that we've seen this whole set.
Yeah, I think it was another example of, you know, every little bit of ground that FTWin gets, they know exactly what to do with it. They are forcing quantuM to play their game, forcing them to situations and acting on it right away. Like, for example, when it became a 2v2 situation, would you think, you know, maybe they'll set some more neutral, maybe the push will stall a bit. Instead,
you saw them like bunched
FTWin, you know, recognized that they were bunched up in that corner and was able to aggro right onto them, force quantuM to make some misplays and kept the ball rolling.
That, honestly, like that little 2v2 situation that you described probably made the game for FTWin.
Yeah, that's just one of those. That's kind of like the signature moment of that game. I feel, you know, kind of defining what FTWin is doing right in this set a lot. Whereas,
you know, like the way that this has been going so far, depending on what gets picked and how effective it is from FTWin and quantuM. I mean, we might see a situation where like counter picks win, and it comes down to that first game, right?
That's what's happening so far.
Yeah.
Speaking of counter pick zones, Reef, I actually like this pick for quantuM a lot, if only because I think this is one of those maps where you are able to get a lot of pushes.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not the biggest pushes, but a lot of pushes.
Reef is
just like they did on Piranha Pit.
Reef kind of has this it feels like a Splat 1 map in that it's a map where like you're kind of forced to commit to fighting in mid.
Yeah,
where you can't be as safe. Like there's like an inevitability to fights happening on the Reef where it's kind of hard to have a neutral because just wipes happen.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a lot of back and forth on this map.
Yeah, especially, you know, you have to consider that, you know, that bridge is so important because obviously the zones are right now.
Oh, yeah.
But also you see so much from the bridge, but at the same time, controlling those areas or trying to control zone, you know, you are subject to the backline being able to spot you from the other teams.
And like
way
bombs
more safe. And also,
and stuff,
and also things like baller and splashdown spam coming off the bridge into zone. Those kinds of opportunities are probably what we're going to see a lot of. We don't see any of those kind of specials coming out.
We see the Luna coming back out,
Luna coming out with the baller, which might be in FTWin's favor, just because, you know, that kind of special spam is really strong on the Reef. But FTWin trying to control the bridge early at first, but Kyo maybe getting a bit too aggressive in the beginning with his teammate going down as well. Toon going to be forced to back out here. That's going to be quantuM getting some early map control. Itachi still trying to fight it in the zone, maybe sharking a bit. Not sure what's going on there. Kyo's jumping into the zone too, actually, if you saw.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe. Yeah, I'll say maybe he kind of decided against it afterwards. DJ right now popping bomb rush, just making sure that this push, this hold, I'm sorry, continues. Now, unfortunately for that, Kyo was able to kind of push him back, kind of force him to kind of give up that fight. But look at how his positioning is held up afterwards. He was able to put in all this damage on other members of FTWin. And even though he's being pushed by 2 people right now, he still hasn't gone down. I'm not sure if he jumped out or what, but I mean, DJ stayed alive for so long right now. He's close to another bomb rush. I mean, if quantuM's able to kind of take this back off the, you know, kind of off the wind of a bomb rush, honestly, I think it's because DJ was able to play that well right there.
Yeah, he was able to recognize if they were pushing him or not. You know, he was putting enough firepower to get them off of his back, and then he was able to keep that positioning. But after FTWin kind of got a nice roll there, Zero, just like that, is going to create those opportunities.
To teabag,
yeah. You know, Zero is the kind of guy who's going to go out there, know exactly how he wants to get a double or triple kill, and then he's going to taunt you for letting him do that because, you know, that's the kind of player he's trying to get in your head, and this has been that kind of back and forth battle so far. But quantuM going to be able to take the lead here, most likely.
Question mark? No, 1 second.
Putting a stop to it, but Zero able to get the pick. 2v3 situation, 1v3 situation. Ooh,
nice double. Nice double, but at the cost of the lead. And depending on how this goes right now, quantuM might be able to run away with the game right now. Zero trying to take on Kyo right there. Could have been okay for him if it wasn't for the fact that a teammate was nearby. But with already down to basically 20 points left, this is a quickly approaching knockout territory for quantuM as they get more picks, as they put more pressure on FTWin. There's a baller in zone right now, but what is it going to accomplish? It doesn't really seem to be getting any picks. Actually, it does. Zero goes down right now. Bran in mid, just knowing that there's the FTWin members are going to rush him down. How is he going to deal with it? He's going to missile. He's going to just hold his ground. He's not doing anything too risky right now. FTWin is able to armor. They're able to push up. Finally able to take the zone and add a penalty, but quantuM's holding really solid, really steady right now. You know, we talked earlier about FTWin being the more stable team and quantuM being the aggressors, but right now it's the opposite.
Wow, and that's just like that. Another triple kill, more squid bagging coming out from quantuM. They are feeling themselves on their own counter pick. Like you said, I feel like what's working for them right now is that they are making the most out of every situation. Like in times where that it seems like maybe
they're shifting
they should
gears
be dying,
to what they should be doing.
You
at the
know,
right time.
they're folding back and getting out a little bit, taking smart routes away from the action
without giving it up.
Yeah, and tension has been a great backline presence for them so far in this set. You know, the beacon jumps in have been really good for quantuM. Bran and Zero able to maneuver around really well. DJ and able to maneuver around really well.
Do they know that Kyo's flanking? I don't know if they know that Kyo's there.
Looks like they might not actually. Nope.
Now they know.
Never mind. And they actually get two off of that.
Double.
So quantuM going to get right back into getting control of the zones. They have just had such a consistent presence. They're avoiding wiping really well, and they're knowing exactly when they want to, you know, back up a little bit. And bring it, and then bring the aggression right back.
It feels like a chess game.
Balance.
It does. You know what it feels like? It feels like there's someone in the sky playing like a real-time strategy game with quantuM, moving them all in unison. They're always working together. They're always positioning themselves basically at the edge of what FTWin can do. FTWin gets a pick. A revenge pick happens. Less than a minute left right now. FTWin is starting to slowly take map. It looks like they're going to get a penalty here. They do. How are they going to work with it? They know there's members of quantuM over here. Toon tries to push up with this junior. Doesn't seem to get a pick right now. quantuM members jumping back in. DJ's going to bomb rush. Will be able to do much. He can get Kyo with it. Can he get someone else? He gets damage. He gets out of there. Another member comes up and sweeps in. 2v3 situation. FTWin's first time really in domination in the middle of the map right now. quantuM member jumps out. 30 seconds left. There might be an overtime soon.
Zero jumping out there was really huge though, because if you look at what quantuM
specials,
what FTWin has. What quantuM has, they have two specials at the ready now. They just popped the missiles. They have popped the armor. They got to pick on Kyo. This is exactly what they need. They just need to take the zones one time.
All right, they stop the clock right now. What's going to happen? DJ is there's a trade right there in mid. Does quantuM get the penalty? I barely even saw that.
It was in the blink of an eye, and that's going to be
above.
Itachi has something to say, but it's not enough.
He didn't say I paint zone.
He said I paint, but he didn't finish the sentence.
He was like, oh wait,
that's 2-2. This set is turning out insane. I feel like what went right for quantuM, they're making those adjustments.
Bran.
Yeah, Bran played insane. His positioning, that they kind of played a really bait and punishy style where, you know, they got into situations, you know, taking risks, but recognizing when those risks aren't going to work out and being really smart to get out. And when they're getting out, they have their teammates ready to help them, like just baiting and punishing.
Yeah, it was like
every move, really.
It was like technically sound players playing well in perfect unison, and that's what we saw out of
helping each other. Like, I think that's one of the most important things in Splatoon, helping each other as much as you can, maximizing, you know, those 2v1 scenarios or just those maintaining pain control.
Even when you're down. too.
Yeah.
I mean, FTWin, quantuM took one on the jaw from FTWin a couple times,
Yeah.
and they kept fighting. They didn't let it phase them. They moved back. They built meter while doing so, and it just seemed like every time that FTWin got a solid footing on the middle of the map,
they were ready to respond in some way.
Exactly.
There was a plan. Like they weren't just folding and being like, okay, we're getting wiped, we're just gonna get out and surrender everything. There was always a plan in place, or at least really quick thinking.
Yep.
And
no
able to work
desperation.
together.
Everything was purposeful. Everything was understood.
They weren't splitting up. They were avoiding, getting backed into corners like they were in previous games. And I think those adjustments were really huge for them. But going into this Game 5, winner moves on to Grand Finals Grand Finals winner's side. This is on FTWin's counter pick.
Yeah, and I mean, we said earlier this might be one of those games where it actually comes down to game 1 because it's just we went on a counter pick, we went on a counter pick, went on a counter pick until, this last game. So it's going to be Splat Zones on Wahoo World. Interesting pick.
Yeah, that's a really interesting. I think this pick might be.
This is coming down to the. Well,
I think they're trying to play more towards the deliberate play style.
Yeah.
They're trying to slow it down again.
Well, it's like quantuM won it. Well, let's think about this for a second. So FTWin can't pick a mode that they just won.
They can't win the mode.
So
they
don't want to pick tower control. They can't pick tower control. Maybe they don't want to pick Rainmaker or Clan Blitz, so they're just going to go with zones and be able to pick a map they want. We'll see how it works out. I mean, this is going to be the last game of Winners Finals. This has been an explosive set so far from two ridiculous teams. Let's see how it works out.
I think FTWin is trying to slow things down. I think this Wahoo is a map where you can split up the opposition more easily, and maybe they're trying to take advantage of that. That's kind of what I'm feeling. We see pretty similar comps coming out from both teams.
Yeah, no surprises on that front.
Yeah, for sure. The ballpoint's obviously being really strong here. Brand sharking.
Brand's getting caught
He's
out.
going to get caught in the paint, though, and that's going to be just like that 3 down on quantuM's side. Sometimes those sharks work out, but when the other team is able to paint and they're not going to make those silly mistakes that end up in a triple you don't expect. They're going to be able to cover their bases and really now they have a chance to get so much control.
Yep. Well, we saw quantuM be able to kind of fluctuate their strategy, to be able to have comeback situations in both of their counter picks. We'll see how it ends up working on this map. Now, they are kind of like stuck outside of what seems to be their comfort zone, trying to get in right now. This bomb rush goes off, though. It looks like there's also an Inkstorm from the ballpoint, and now quantuM has their first actual try to take back. But I mean, if this doesn't work, that's going to be the end of the game. They're being flanked right now. They know they're being flanked. They also know they have to get zoned, so they're moving forward. They're ignoring the flank. They're going to try to get the penalty. They do, and then they're going to turn around and take out the last member of FTWin. So this is quantuM's time to have full map control. Oh, but what's going to happen with this ballpoint right now?
Zero's trying to get behind him, 2 on him, but Itachi somehow getting a 2-for-1 trade out of that flank. Now, if you notice, wow, yeah, so really good response from FTWin. If you notice, quantuM started that push with Brand flanking Itachi, getting the first pick on the ballpoint, and they were able to move on it. But Itachi was not letting himself get flanked again. He was ready for it that time. The same thing is not going to work twice against FTWin. It's not. And they were able to get right back into it. Now, quantuM trying to create with the missiles, scouting them out a little bit right now, maybe getting more specials built. Now the missiles are going to come out. They have bomb rush already. They have armor. They have another rain. And they're going to pop all those specials because they are trying to get a firm control this time.
I don't know how firm it's going to be right now. The Inkjet gets a pick. Shaq gets revenge killed, though. 3v3. No specials ready for either team. This is going to come down to slaying, and Blissey is slaying right now. The penalty about to be over. Only a few seconds left. I don't know what Demise is going to be able to, quantuM's going to be able to put together to do something. That's what they can do. They can take out Bliss for standing in the open too much. They can get a penalty right now. Can they take out Kyo? There's a trade.
That trade
but
is good
the zone
for them.
still hasn't been taken. There it is. There's the penalty.
That trade was good for them. They were able to work it. Somehow Itachi was threatening them so much, but they were able to get such a clutch pick. If that pick isn't got, the game, then the set is over for quantuM. Making the most out of a 2v2 situation where when you don't have that many members, it's really hard to get back in, especially with that timer ticking down. You have to be really smart, and if you make a mistake, the game's basically over. quantuM not going to make the mistake. They still have a fighting chance. They are pushing up. They get the pick. Brand missing, scouting them out. They are in a really good position. They have so much map control. They're kind of watching every area of the map right now, and they're trying to force FTWin to make some mistakes right now.
Yeah, they're not getting any picks, though, right now. FTWin's about to be able to pop multiple specials. DJ ready, though. He has that bomb rush. This bomb rush has been so crucial in so many situations, in so many games in this set right now, and it looks like it's actually holding the zone. Shaq right now trying to get a pick with his Inkjet, unable to, gets punished on the landing. They are able to get the zone somehow, though. and somehow able to get control of the map
They
as
got
well.
3 picks on quantuM. They were able to just make things happen.
That really didn't look like if FTWin was able to come out on top. 1:30 left to go, and we've been in this situation so many times this game, it seems, where FTWin is just able to get a more solid control of the map. I mean, I think I understand why this was their counter pick now. They really are good at this kind of scenario where quantuM's all the way back in their base and has to come in from scratch.
Yeah.
Whereas the last game that we saw, quantuM was able to kind of never actually leave mid and keep the fight going. But FTWin has been so good at these really deliberate situations.
Double, but it might not be enough because now Brand is the last alive, and it's going to be a trade. And that's going to be the set.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Yep, Tension knows it. quantuM knows it. A well-played set. Kyo popping off.
Kyo
I see him
popping
screaming.
off, yeah.
The big hugs. FTWin is feeling themselves. They're feeling great. All the love, that teamwork, that camaraderie, you know, it's carried them to so many big places, and now it's carrying them to a grand finals winner's side spot. They are locked into that top 2. And quantuM, they came so close, but not quite able to finish it off. FTWin, that was a game where I think each team just was able to play to their strengths, but because FTWin won that first game and was able to counter